Hello traders, I hope you are printing money as usual. So in today's video, I'm going to explain how I was able to get 4 wins on a row on my FTMO 100k challenge. So I made $11,000 on those 4 setup I had, and then somehow I managed to get 3 losses on a row. All right, so I'm going to explain how as well to get those setup, those 4 setup, how I manage the stop loss, TP, everything about the analysis, so that you guys can understand exactly how you can do the same thing and how you can use it to pass your challenge as well. And apart from that, I'm also going to explain how I went through a losing streak of 3 losses on a row and how I avoided to take any more losses. And you guys can also understand why I took those losses, so you can also avoid that to happen to you.
Meanwhile,
and apart from that, I got another payout with Alpha Capital Group. This is my third payout with them, a $1,000 payout. So if you want to get funded with a company or a trading company, you can check out Alpha Capital Group. Again, I'm not affiliated with Alpha Capital. I just trade with them. I see that they've been great so far. That's why I'm recommending them to you guys. So if you want to get funded, you can check the link below, which is not again an affiliate link. So you can just go and get your funded account, and which is actually pretty awesome. So if you're interested into how to get those 4 wins on a row and how to avoid a losing streak,
let's get straight to it.
so these are basically the setup I had today. So I had like three positions at New York session, which are this year, and these 3 were all losses. Okay, I'm going to explain why I took them and why they were losses, and then how you can also avoid that to happen to you. And I had these 4 wins on a row as well. And the 4 wins on a row, I took it on my FTMO account. I had 100k, and I passed the 100k today. I had it, I think, for 4 days now, or 3 days. Yeah, I traded for 3 days. So today is the 3rd day, and I was able to get those 4 set up, which helped me to pass the phase 1. And then these 3 losses I had, I took it on my Alpha Capital Group. So I took those 3 losses on my funded account. For some reason, I didn't take those wins on my funded account, which is crazy. But then these are the setup I had. So when I woke up today, when I tried to, let's say, zoom out, I tried to go to something like the 5-minute time frame, I can see that gold's been bearish. Okay, we can see that we are having a sell, pullback, sell, pullback, sell, pullback, sell, pullback. So I expected this as a pullback for a new sell setup to the downside. And you know me, whenever I sell, I always target structure. Okay, so that means that if I sell somewhere from this high, or if I get the entry to sell to the downside, my TP would definitely be somewhere at this low here. So this low is going to be what my TP. So normally how I trade is that when price hit my TP, I'm done for the day. I don't look at price anymore. I just go away, and that's it. But today, the reason why I actually traded New York session is because I did not take this setup on my funded account. That's why I'm like, well, let me get one more setup maybe on my funded account. But for some reason, I came to take losses. But again, I'm going to explain everything here. So let me look at those wins. As I said, on the higher time frame, I'm looking for sales. So when I came here, I was just looking for a reason to sell to the downside. So when I came here, we can see that market is bearish. We have this pullback, right? And then we have this. So when we have this and pullback here, we can see that price created a lot of zones. You can have this guy CPI, you can have this guy CPI. We have a lot of order blocks here, and we have this guy as well. But for me, for a POI to be valid, I want to make sure that there is like liquidity to it, right? So in this case, you can see that we have this guy here that can be liquidity, and then we have another high here that can be liquidity. But this high was looking more liquidity to me, because you can see that we have what do you call it, some sort of relation you call highs here. So make this high to be highly liquidity for price to come and take. So when price came here and started giving this reaction, this small reaction after taking this guy liquidity already, I know that while there's a reason for this thing to go down, so I did not want to miss the setup. So what I did is I had a sell here, okay, and then my stop loss, to be honest, my stop loss was a bit random. I can say that I maybe got a bit lucky, because when I sell here, probably my stop loss would definitely be above this high. That would give me about 3R. So for me, I don't like taking 3R. I think 5R is the ideal for me. So I resized this thing to give me around 5R at my TP. I think my TP were those sort of equal lows I have down here. You can see that we have equal lows here. So I wanted to see price drop, take this equal lows here, which is actually my TP. And I extended it a bit down because I wanted to pass my challenge. So I just had to like extend it so it allows me to pass the challenge. But ideally, I think my TP would have been, my stop loss would have been above this high. But again, I put it here because I know that price can still can't take this liquidity drop and without hitting my stop loss. So when price came, it started selling, it gave me a bit of profit, and then it went in drawdown. So when it came in drawdown, it took this high here, and from taking this high here, I saw it was giving some reaction sell on the second time frame. I'm like, well, let me sell again. So I took another entry here. This entry was half risk because normally I risk sometimes I risk 1%, sometimes I risk 0.5, sometimes I risk 2%, it depends. But I had 5 lots sell here, and then my stop loss was above this high, which was I think around $1,000, which is like 1%. And then when I sold here, as this is half the stop loss of this one, that make it like a 0.5% risk. So the overall let's say stop loss on this one, that was like 1.5%. So I had like 1.5% risk on this one, which allowed me to have the sell to the downside. And then price gave some couple of reentries. The reentries are pretty simple to explain. So you can see that price dropped, it broke structure to the downside. You just want to follow structure, by the way. So you can see that we have a sell, pullback, sell, pullback, sell. You expected a pullback for a sell. So this pullback here came, it took this liquidity. From taking this liquidity, I didn't get the sell right away. So I waited for some sort of confirmation entry. So when price broke this sort of low here, that was like my confirmation, and I just had to like sell from that confirmation entry and had my sell somewhere around this high. So as I already had about 1.5% risk here, I do not want to add too many risks. So my sell from this zone was very low risk. I just had one lot sell there, and then I had again another entry here. This entry is the same thing. Look, so we have this pullback, price pullback, sell, right? So this pullback price came, it took this liquidity. After taking the liquidity, it broke structure to the downside, it gave a pullback, and then it gave a sell setup to the downside, and then it broke structure again. So this sell is pretty much the same as this sell. It's just the same way. You can see that we have a liquidity grab, change the character, and then sell setup. Same way, liquidity grab, change the character here. But in this case, I waited for a pullback, and then I had the sell from the pullback, which was actually pretty nice. And then when price drop, it hit my TP. As I said, normally if you do not want to take any loss, when price hit your TP, just take your TP and run away because you don't know if price gonna keep selling or price will just reverse. Let me explain. So let's say price is bearish, right? And then you expect the price to drop and take this low. After taking this low, you don't know if price gonna keep going down or price is just gonna reverse totally, right? So you don't exactly know. But the fact that I came to trade anyways because I wanted to trade on my live account and I wanted to trade New York session. So if you wanted to avoid these losses after you hitting TP, do not even look for entries. I think if you look at the bullish side, you would have had some I think entry can have a mitigation entry here, could have had some buy here. But as I wasn't interested into a buy, I was just looking to sell. That's why that was a stop loss. And again, that's one. And second, I didn't really have like a confirmation entry. If you look well, I just had a liquidity grab here and I had a breaker block here. So from that liquidity grab breaker block, I just had to sell them. I have my stop loss here and eventually price came, it took my stop loss and it went up, right? So this again could have been avoided if I waited for a confirmation entry. As you can see here, this was a confirmation entry, but this was not a confirmation entry. So this could have been a loss that I could have avoided because price did not give me a confirmation entry. And if I continue up here, I think this entry was better. There was nothing wrong about it. Price came, I think it took some liquidity. I don't know exactly what price mitigated, but when I saw price gave me this sort of confirmation entry, it's more about the confirmation entry that I had. So price drop, it took this low here and then it gave me a pullback. It mitigated this sort of extreme zone here, I think. Yeah, it mitigated. Yeah, it didn't take the high. So I had a sell somewhere here. I had a sell for stop loss because if I had a stop loss exactly here, that would definitely be a stop loss for me. So I had a stop loss a bit above. Okay, if I try to extend it, my stop loss was a bit above. And then my TP was pretty much at previous low here. Okay, and again, I didn't partial. Price came, it played around for a while, and then it started dropping. And then it ran for 4 hours. I think I could have been close for 4 hours, but then I wanted a TP at previous low. So what happened? News came out of nowhere. Like, to be honest, if I knew there was news, I I think I knew there was news, but I didn't know that it would have been this massive. So the news came, it took me out with a bit of slippage. So that pump came, it took me out. After taking me out, I'm like, well, I was still bearish though. The reason why I was still bearish, I see that price gave this high sort of liquidity. You can see that we have a trend liquidity. That price literally just came and took it out. So after that liquidity taken, I wanted to do what? I wanted to sell to the downside. So I waited. I first wanted like some pullback to extreme zone, but price didn't want to give a pullback to extreme zone. So from here, I can see that price was selling and then being this pullback. Like finding hard time to go up. So I'm like, okay, let me just sell here. I had a sell here and I had the stop loss. I had a wild stop loss because I know that price could have still come mitigate this guy and give a sell. I cannot just put the stop loss here. So I had the stop loss somewhere around this high, which reduced my risk reward really, really much. And again, as I'm targeting the previous low, that was like 4R. Price went in beating profit and eventually gave me a stop loss. So what happened? This stop loss could have been avoided because there was no confirmation entry. This was a okay trade, okay? Like, and it went for 4 hours. So 4 hours would have been maybe a TP or you would have break even. But again, I don't really break even my setup. So this one, it's hard to tell because of this thing. So it's hard to tell if could have been a break even for you, could have been a TP for you. But for me, I wanted to price go down here. So I don't know exactly if there was something to avoid that loss. But this was a nice setup to me. And then this one too, I wanted to see price going down, but the reason why I think price reacted and started buying, I think there was some sort of breakout block that price came mitigated. I think price mitigated something here. If you go to, I think on the 5 minute time frame, yeah. So on the 5 minute, you can see that there was a breakout block here. So price dropped, he hit the breakout block, and then he gave a buy set to the upside. So on this one again, this would have been a loss avoided because you can see that price reacted from this guy started buying. So eventually you would definitely expect the price to come and take out this high. So out of all of these losses, I think the one that could have been a loss would have been maybe this guy. Else, this one with this one, you could definitely avoid it. Because price reacted this, you expected price to go up. This, there was no confirmation. And this, there's some pretty good confirmation entry and it ran for a bit of profit and then eventually came back. So these were pretty much the setup I had. And if I come to my FTMO account, you can see that I was able to pass my challenge. Yeah. So you see, the minimum trading days not yet. I think pretty soon I can open one more trade so that I can get my minimum trading days. But apart from that, you can see that I did hit the profit target of 10%. And these are the setup. First day I was down about 3.5, and second day, that was yesterday, I made 2.4. 2.4%, and then today I made about 11%. 11 point, pretty much 11.5% today. So that allowed me to pass the challenge. So phase 2 is gonna be for pretty soon. So hope me the best so I can make some money. So if you are enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thank you for watching the video.